Every year in early January, we invite all of our PFWB pastors and ministers and ministry leaders from our local churches to join us here on our ministry campus in Dunn for about a half day of prayer. We just come together in the tabernacle and we spend about 3 hours crying out to the Lord, praying to God. I think you would agree with me, with all that's going on in the world these days, if ever we needed to come together in prayer, it's now. You know, Jesus taught his disciples and also taught us the importance of prayer during his earthly ministry. In fact, those early disciples walked with Jesus, talked with Jesus, slept by his side. They were with him day and night for 3.5 years. And during that time, they noticed something about Jesus. They noticed that the fruit in his life was the result of a deeper root in his life. Let me say that again. They noticed that the fruit in his life was the result of a deeper root in his life. And that root was prayer. That's why one day they came to him and they said, Jesus, teach us how to pray. They didn't ask Jesus to teach them how to preach, but he was the greatest preacher that ever lived. They didn't say, Jesus, teach us how to lead. He was the greatest leader there's ever been. Of all the things they saw Jesus do for 3.5 years, the one thing that so impacted them, the one thing they said, we want to know how to do that. They said, Jesus, teach us how to pray like you pray. Why? Because they had noticed that the root in his life was what produced the fruit in his life. And prayer was that root. Jesus modeled for them and for us the importance of prayer. And I can think of no better way for us to begin a new year, especially the year that's before us, than by coming together to pray. So I'm inviting you to join our team on Saturday, January 6th in the Tabernacle on our ministry campus for a time of prayer. And we have invited a very special guest to join us for this occasion. Dr. Doug Small is the founder and president of Project Pray out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and he is traveling all over the country and around the world teaching denominational leaders, teaching pastors, teaching whole denominations, not only how to pray, but how to develop within their organization a prayer movement. And we've invited him to do that for us on that day. There are 3 goals of our gathering on Saturday, January 6th. First of all, our purpose is to pray. We're not coming together to sing. We're not coming together to study. We're not coming together to preach or to teach. We're coming together to pray. And so that's our first objective on that day, is to pray for our churches, to pray for our families, to pray for our nation and for the world. So number 1, we're coming together to pray. But number 2, the purpose of that day is to kick off our 21 days of prayer and fasting. The very next day, that's Sunday, January 7th, we're kicking off our 21 days of prayer and fasting like a lot of churches and denominations do every year. And so we'll be asking our pastors and the members of our churches for those 21 days to just find a way to set aside some things and devote more time to God. What a way to kick off the new year. 21 days of prayer and fasting. On Saturday, January 6th, we'll be putting some resources, some tools in your hands that'll help you implement the 21 days of prayer and fasting. So first of all, we're coming together to pray. Secondly, we're coming together to kick off our 21 days of prayer and fasting. But number 3, we're coming together to launch a prayer initiative, a prayer movement that will carry us throughout the entire year of 2024. And Brother Small is going to help us do that. On that day, he's going to lead us. He's going to model for us a different way of praying. And I don't know how to describe it. You'll have to be there to experience it. In fact, that's what he calls it, a prayer experience, and it's just that. But he's going to lead us in a way of praying through the scriptures, perhaps something new to many of us. It'll be so rewarding, so enriching. And then, after our time together, those that feel so led, who really want to be a part of this movement, are going to be invited to stay after for about a half hour, maybe an hour, with Brother Small and myself, and you will become the core of this prayer movement that we're going to birth in the PFWB for the entire year of 2024. So all that's going to happen on Saturday, January the 6th, on our ministry campus here in Dunn. We'll have hot coffee and fresh donuts like always when you arrive that morning. We're going to kick off the program at 9 a.m. We'll have you on your way by 12:30 at the latest. I hope you and your ministry team will join us on that special day.